Welcome to our first installment of the PSIS Student Podcast.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a very beautiful way that you put it that way. Yeah. So back to freedom, actually. Well, I'm sure you both know as well that if one has freedom, one also has to have responsibilities for that freedom. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that? Like, what sort of responsibilities accompany freedom? Like, let's say if a child wants freedom, what does that child needs to be responsible for? Or it doesn't have to be a child, but I mean, could be anything or anyone of any group, age group, yeah. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think first of all is to be responsible for his or herself, to take care of this body that they have. And the next is the people around them. They have to make sure that they're not affecting people around them in a bad way. And the final one is the environment. So they should be careful and know how to protect the surrounding natural environment and not to damage it, because we only have one Earth.
That's true, yeah.
As for me, they have to be the safe, their own safety. Yeah. Like to prevent themselves from hanging out with the bad people. Like if you walk into a group that using cigarette or hanging out with a friend using cigarette, so you have to, like, even if they try to give you the cigarette and like, oh, just use it once, and just like don't do it. You know what you are, so you know it is bad, so don't use it. Even if you use it, like you will like get scolded from your parents. Yeah, and it's also a fact to your health, and yeah, it's some sort of stuff, like especially like for your own safety, just going out and try to protect yourself. Try your best to protect your own body, and like try to prove your parents. Don't give them like distrust you. Yes.
All right. Yes. So I'm gonna go back to what you were saying, because I think that's a very big problem in our society nowadays. Yeah, like teens, they are very, very easily to influence. So that's also why, the parents, they sort of don't give that much freedom to their child. So since, okay, from a teen's perspective, from a 17-year-old, 16-year-old, 15-year-old, 18-year-old perspective, actually, what do you think is the best way to resist those temptations? Like, say you're hanging out with a bad group of friends. How should you take yourself out of that group of friends without feeling left out, or how should you don't fall for that temptation? So, is there any tips or any opinions you can share about that?
I think we should educate ourselves and learn that those friends are not really your friends. Because friends, when you're with your friends, true friends, they always want you to strive to be better, to be a better version of yourself. And if you're with someone that you call a friend, but they don't help you in growing as a person, physically, mentally, and spiritually, then they're not truly your friend.
I see.
So you have to learn that and apply that in your life, and cut those friends off.
All right.
And then find friends that are sort of a mentor, that could help you become better, that knows better, and could help himself and you.
I see.
Yeah.
As for me, I do have a lot of friends that using those type of stuff. So yeah, it's like I do educate myself from like walking into a group of teenage using those kind of stuff. Yeah, just basically. I just if they ask me, I just no, I can't smoke and I don't like smoking. and I hate people like smoking.
I
So I'm not stop talking to them, but I just tell them that I don't like the smell of the cigarette.
Nice.
And yeah, some of my friends, when they want to smoke, they just walk away from me. Yeah, it's pretty good friends, I can say, because they know about my health, so they try not to infect our friendship. Yeah, I really like them because like they pretty take care of me.
Yeah, they're very considerate.
Yeah, considerate. Sometimes I also told them like to cut down, stop using it, and they just like, nah, it just twice. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty good.
All
I
right.
can say.
That's,
Yeah.
All right, so that's a very nice group of friends that you have right there. So we have our time limit is reaching for this episode. I just want to touch on a very critical topic that Julie has raised like at the very start about school. Yeah. So, in your opinion, actually, like, why do you think there's no freedom in school, and how should you like how do you think the school system should like change itself to allow more freedom in students?
This is a really good question. And I think that school is like this because the system is old, outdated, and the teachers are also old.
I see.
And the teachers still have like their mind, they still have closed-minded
All right.
mentality, and they still think that the educational system still works. But in everyday society nowadays, everything is evolving, everything is improving, you know? Like cars, before we use steam engines, now we're using electricity. Phones, before we only have telephone, now we have cell phones. Rockets, we don't have rockets before.
Yeah.
Now we can go to space, we can use aircraft. But school, from the beginning, tables, board, teacher, now the same.
thing. Yeah. The
No
same.
improvement. Since school started, there's no improvement in school at all. There's no changes. I think we should make school more open, the environment more comfortable,
Yeah.
more natural, more windows. Not to jump off, but you know, to have fresh air.
Yes. To not feel
Because
claustrophobic.
if the
Yeah.
school is fun to be at, then no one would jump off anyways.
That's a very nice point. Yeah, I agree with that. If it's nice to be there, you won't jump off.
Yeah, and I would like more experiments, more visual learning instead of writing on the board. More simpler way of explaining stuff, you know.
I see.
Like in grade 12, things should be explained as simple as in grade 1. Correct?
Yeah, I agree with that because we learn more. You know,
Yeah.
we can understand them more.
Because not everyone knows the advanced word in physics or math or whatever. So every teacher should strive to teach to a younger audience, because not everyone is smart enough to understand what they're saying.
All right.
And your definitions should be more open, especially in social subjects. Then math should be more, let's say, not crammy. Like nowadays, there's like 3 hours of math on Wednesday. 3 hours of math on Wednesday. How could you cram all 3 hours of information?
I agree. So Manita, we have a very short time left. Is there anything else you want to add? Maybe like a few sentences on that.
For me, I just feel like school is pretty stressful, and like some kids like got depression from like the schoolwork. There's a lot of stuff to do, like a lot of homework, lesson to write or assignment. Yeah, whatever is that. I just like want to ask the teacher like to cut down those stuff because like there's a lot of stuff happening, like no one's know behind like their family story or whatever,
no one
like
knows
that.
what
Yeah,
happens behind the scenes.
yeah, it's pretty stressful, and some people, some students can might get the suicide from those stuff.
That's
So
not good.
yeah, yeah, I don't have much on that. So yeah, that's it for me.
All right, so that's very beautiful that we get to at least touch on freedom and school together. So I guess that's about it for this first episode or this first installation of this podcast project that we're trying to do. And stay tuned to our second installation, maybe future next week or something. I don't know as well. I won't be the host. You'll be seeing a new host, and you'll be seeing new speakers as well. They will be sharing much more better things. Not saying that we're sharing bad things, but like they'll be sharing newer ideas and newer discussing new topics. So yeah, please stay tuned to that. And I guess that's about it for this episode. Thank you guys very much. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.